Plastic. It is a material that has in many ways defined the modern age. Its invention was a marvel of human ingenuity, a substance that could be molded into almost any shape, offering strength, durability, and convenience at a remarkably low cost. From life-saving medical equipment that must be sterile and disposable, to the lightweight components in vehicles that reduce fuel consumption, plastics have brought countless benefits to our society. They have helped us preserve food for longer, made clean drinking water accessible to remote communities, and enabled the technological revolution that connects us all. It is a material that seems, at first glance, to be a perfect solution for so many of our needs. Yet, the very qualities that make plastic so useful, its strength and its incredible persistence, are also the source of a profound and growing environmental crisis. This material, designed to last forever, is often used for only a few fleeting moments before it is discarded. A plastic bottle, used to quench a brief thirst, will outlive the person who drank from it by centuries. This fundamental contradiction lies at the heart of our plastic problem. We have created a substance that does not simply disappear when we are finished with it. Instead, it accumulates, a silent and persistent testament to our throwaway culture, piling up in our landfills and, most tragically, in our natural world. The consequences of this accumulation are now visible across the globe. Our planet is, quite literally, becoming choked by plastic. From the highest mountain peaks to the deepest ocean trenches, fragments of our plastic lives are being found. We have seen images of seabirds with stomachs full of bottle caps and marine turtles entangled in discarded bags. These are not isolated incidents. They are symptoms of a systemic issue. The convenience we have so readily embraced has come at a staggering cost to the delicate ecosystems that sustain all life on Earth, including our own. The durability we once celebrated has become a curse, a legacy of waste that will haunt generations to come. It is a difficult truth to confront. This material, so deeply woven into the fabric of our daily existence, is now threatening the health of our planet. We have been slow to recognize the scale of the problem, perhaps because the convenience was so seductive and the consequences seemed so distant. But we can no longer afford to look away. The evidence is all around us, in the polluted rivers, the littered coastlines, and the suffering of countless creatures. We must now look at this wonder material with new eyes, understanding both its remarkable utility and its devastating potential, and begin to make wiser choices for the future of our world. The primary source of this ever-growing plastic crisis is our reliance on single-use items. Think of the daily routine for so many of us. A coffee in a disposable cup, a sandwich wrapped in cling film, a bottle of water, a plastic bag to carry our shopping. Each of these items provides a fleeting moment of convenience, yet their journey is far from over when we discard them. They are designed to be used once and then thrown away, a concept that is fundamentally at odds with the sustainable cycles of the natural world. This culture of disposability has led to an astonishing volume of waste, a mountain of plastic that grows larger with every passing second, created for just a few minutes of use. This problem is made far worse by inadequate waste management systems in many parts of the world. Even when we have the best intentions and place our plastic waste in a bin, there is no guarantee it will be handled correctly. In countless communities, infrastructure for collecting, sorting, and recycling plastic is overwhelmed or simply non-existent. Waste overflows from landfills, is openly burned releasing toxic fumes, or is dumped directly into rivers. These rivers then act as conveyor belts, carrying our plastic refuse, our bottles, bags, and packaging, on a relentless journey out to sea, where it joins a swirling vortex of debris that now pollutes every ocean on our planet. The result is a global landscape scarred by plastic. It lines our roadsides, tangles in the branches of our trees, and blankets our beautiful beaches in a colorful, toxic confetti. It is a visual blight, a constant reminder of our collective failure to manage our own consumption. This pollution is not confined to developing nations. It is a worldwide phenomenon. Even in countries with advanced recycling programs, the sheer volume of plastic produced is simply too great to manage effectively. A significant portion of the plastic we diligently sort for recycling is never actually recycled, due to contamination, low economic value, or a lack of processing capacity. We have created a linear system of take, make, dispose in a world that can only be sustained by circularity. Nature wastes nothing. Every fallen leaf, Every dead creature is broken down and returned to the system to provide nourishment for new life. Our industrial processes, however, have ignored this fundamental principle. We extract resources, manufacture products with a limited lifespan, and then discard them into environments that cannot absorb them. The tide of plastic waste will continue to rise until we fundamentally rethink this broken model and learn to live as nature does, in a way that respects the finite resources of our only home. Confronted with such a colossal challenge, it is easy to feel overwhelmed, yet solutions are within our grasp. The most powerful and immediate action we can all take is simply to reduce our consumption. This begins with conscious choices in our daily lives. Refusing a plastic straw, carrying a reusable water bottle and coffee cup, and bringing our own bags to the shops. These may seem like small gestures, but when multiplied by millions of people, they create a powerful wave of change. By reducing the demand for single-use plastics, we send a clear message to businesses that we want a different future, one that is not built on disposable convenience, but on sustainable and mindful living. Alongside reduction, the principles of reuse and recycling are vital pillars in our strategy. We must shift our mindset from a throwaway culture to one that values longevity and circularity. This means supporting businesses that offer refillable containers, choosing products made from durable, repairable materials, and demanding that companies take responsibility for the entire life cycle of their packaging. When recycling is our only option, we must do it diligently. Improving and expanding our recycling infrastructure is a critical task for governments, ensuring that the plastic we do use is captured and transformed into new products, rather than being lost to the environment as pollution. However, individual actions and recycling alone will not be enough. We need strong and decisive governance to drive systemic change. Governments around the world must implement bold policies, such as bans on the most harmful single-use plastic items like bags, cutlery, and polystyrene containers. They can introduce extended producer responsibility schemes, which make manufacturers financially responsible for the collection and recycling of their products. By setting clear rules and creating economic incentives, governments can level the playing field and accelerate the transition towards a circular economy, where waste is designed out of the system from the very beginning. Finally, we must champion innovation. Scientists and engineers are developing remarkable new solutions, from bioplastics made from plants that can decompose naturally, to chemical recycling processes that can break down complex plastics into their original building blocks to be used again and again. These technological advancements hold incredible promise. By investing in research and supporting the innovators who are pioneering these alternatives, we can create a new generation of materials and systems that provide the utility of plastic without its devastating environmental footprint. The path forward requires a combination of personal responsibility, corporate accountability, government legislation, and human ingenuity. While the large plastic items choking our oceans are the most visible sign of this crisis, a more insidious threat is lurking, largely unseen. As plastic debris floats in the water, battered by waves and degraded by sunlight, it does not simply disappear. Instead, it breaks down into ever smaller fragments, creating a pervasive pollution of tiny particles known as microplastics. These fragments, smaller than a grain of rice, are now found everywhere, from the water we drink to the air we breathe. They are a hidden legacy of every piece of plastic ever made, a fine dust of our own creation that has infiltrated every corner of our planet. The sources of these microplastics are disturbingly diverse and often originate from our everyday activities. The simple act of washing our clothes can release hundreds of thousands of microscopic synthetic fibers from fabrics like polyester and nylon, which flow unfiltered from our washing machines into rivers and seas. The wear and tear of car tires on our roads releases tiny particles that are washed into drains. Many cosmetic products, such as facial scrubs and toothpastes, have historically contained plastic microbeads intentionally designed to be washed down the sink. These countless sources combine to create a constant and widespread release of microplastics into the environment. Once in the environment, these tiny particles embark on a journey through the food web. They are small enough to be ingested by the smallest of creatures, such as plankton, the very foundation of marine life. These plankton are then eaten by small fish, which are in turn eaten by larger fish, birds, and marine mammals. With each step up the food chain, the concentration of microplastics can accumulate. A tiny particle swallowed by a microscopic organism in the deep ocean can eventually find its way onto our own dinner plates. We are, in a very real sense, consuming the waste we have created. The full impact of this contamination is a subject of urgent scientific research, but the initial findings are deeply concerning. These plastic particles are not just inert specks. They can act like tiny toxic sponges, absorbing harmful chemical pollutants from the surrounding water, such as pesticides and industrial byproducts. When an animal ingests these plastics, it also ingests a concentrated dose of these toxins. Furthermore, the physical presence of these particles can cause internal injuries and blockages in digestive tracts, leading to starvation and death. The silent, invisible spread of microplastics represents one of the most complex and worrying dimensions of the plastic pollution crisis. The fight against plastic pollution is a global one, and encouragingly, the world is beginning to unite. International bodies are now recognizing the scale of the threat, and there is a growing momentum towards a legally binding global treaty on plastic pollution. Such an agreement, similar to the Paris Agreement for climate change, could harmonize regulations, foster international cooperation, and hold all nations accountable for reducing their plastic footprint. It represents a landmark opportunity to tackle this crisis at its source, bringing together governments, businesses, and civil society in a shared mission to protect our oceans and ecosystems from further harm. This global momentum is being mirrored by inspiring action at local and national levels. All around the world, communities are taking a stand. We see grassroots movements organizing beach cleanups, cities banning single-use plastic bags, and nations implementing ambitious recycling and waste management strategies. These efforts are making a tangible difference, not only by removing plastic from the environment, but also by raising public awareness and putting pressure on corporations and policymakers to act. Every bottle collected from a riverbank, every law passed to ban a harmful product, is a small victory in a much larger battle for the health of our planet. Innovation continues to be one of our greatest sources of hope. We are witnessing a surge in creativity aimed at solving this problem. Scientists are discovering enzymes and bacteria that can break down certain types of plastic. Entrepreneurs are building businesses around reusable packaging systems, and designers are creating beautiful, desirable products from recycled materials. This spirit of ingenuity proves that we do not have to choose between convenience and a healthy planet. It shows that we can redesign our systems, our products, and our materials to work in harmony with nature rather than against it. These solutions are no longer theoretical. They are being implemented and scaled up right now. The path ahead will not be easy, but it is a path we must walk together. The future of our planet, the health of its oceans and its creatures, and indeed our own well-being, depend on the choices we make today. We have the knowledge, the technology, and the collective will to turn the tide on plastic pollution. By reducing what we use, demanding change from those in power, and supporting the innovators who are building a better future, we can begin to heal the damage we have done. Let us work together, as individuals, communities, and nations, to ensure that our legacy is not one of a planet choked by waste, but of a world restored to its natural beauty and balance.